welcome to the video. Today we've got Joe and his A90 Supra on the channel again. He's been on the channel before where we revealed the wrap of his car. If you haven't seen that video, click up here or here to watch it. Today's not actually about what Joe's done to his Supra, although he's recently had the wheels repainted, which look very cool. It's actually about ownership and his experience with the Supra. So how much he's paying, road tax, mileage, fuel costs, etc, etc. So if you're looking to buy an A90 Supra, this is the man who's going to tell you everything you need to know. Also, if you're not subscribed, please do. I think the views, or the people who watch my videos, I think only 10% of them are actually subscribed. So if you do watch a lot of my videos but you haven't subscribed, please do, it would help the channel out. Right, we're going to hop in. It's my first time actually being in his Supra, being driven around. Come for a ride, we'll have a little talk and yeah. Alright, it's about 4 o'clock, so the sun is setting and I really want to get the filming done as quick as possible. So if it feels a little rushed, let me know and we can do another video with Joe again. But Joe, welcome to the channel again.
Thank you very
much. First of all, Supra is absolutely lovely. I love what you've done to it.
Thank you.
How long have you had this?
So I've had it since July this
year. Not that long. And how do you open to talk about money and etc?
Yeah, fine with me.
So how much did you put? What was the finance on it? How much did you put down?
Sure.
Etc.
So essentially, I came out of a C43 before this. I was very fortunate that I could have made some money on the C43 in the current market. I took about 3.5 grand out of the C43, I think it was, down onto this, and then the monthly payments are somewhere in the region of 550.
Okay, right. 550, sorry I wasn't listening, 550 a month. How much deposit did you put down?
So 3.5.
That's really good.
Yeah, and that was on a 40 grand car as well. So this was 2019 and it had 11,000 miles when I bought it.
That's really good. So residual, what was the balloon?
Sorry, that's a good question. I think the balloon is...
Be around about 25-ish, I think?
Yeah, I think it's low 20s. I want to say 22 springs to mind.
Right, and that's a 4-year PCP?
Yes, correct, yeah.
8,000 miles?
15,000.
15,000
yeah.
miles? Okay, wow, okay, so we all know that the Supra is not going to be worth 25k after 4 years.
Exactly.
So that is good residuals, good finance package, etc.
That's what I thought. And also it's worth mentioning that I like to shop around for finance on different brokers and other lenders. And Toyota are actually the lowest, so they were 4.9% on used, which is very, very low,
yeah,
especially from main dealer. So.
And you got this brand new? Used, so really good APR on a used car.
Yeah.
Okay, and then obviously road tax that comes with it. This is another thing you've got to consider.
Yep.
Not just being able to afford the monthly payments, but the road tax, the fuel, the insurance. Road tax, because it's over 40 grand.
That's right. Yeah, I'm still within that first few years. I can't think of exactly how many it is, but it's something like the first 4 years you pay an increased rate, and that on this is around 500. I think it's like 480, 490 or something.
It's just a fixed rate for all cars over 40 grand.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
I think mine, I updated my road tax recently. I can hear it popping. It was about 485, I think, this year. Alright, okay, what about MPG? What are you getting for that?
So, one thing I really like about this B58 is it's kind of an engine of two lifestyles. So you can have the kind of cruiser, low in the revs, and you can expect to see north of like 30 MPG or so, something like that on motorway driving. So I suppose to your point, as a car to kind of own, as a daily driver you can actually achieve good MPG. So you can get 30 or so if you're quite conservative, you know, keep it in comfort, keep the revs low, but it does like to drink. If you do go kind of very aggressive, in sport mode, you know, manual gears, up in the revs, I kind of get around 14 MPG on sport driving, so that's what I mean by kind of two engines almost within one. It really can do both, and it will definitely perform.
So to put that into perspective with my M2, I checked the MPG actually because we've been doing a lot of spirited driving today, 22 miles per gallon out of today's little Hoon, and for you to get 30, it makes sense really, right? So it's an updated engine. God, that pops. It's an updated engine from the S55, because the S55 is an engine built from the N55, and the B58 is actually a newer engine, which what the M3, M4 is built on the S58. It's good MPG. By the way, this is my first time in Joe's Supra, as I said in the introduction, and I'm really, really impressed. You can feel how long the bonnet is at the front, but then at the back, even though behind me there's quite a lot of metal and stuff, it feels like the back is really short and the front's really long, and so we're sat almost, it feels like we're sat on the rear axle, and you've got the engine, and then them together makes you feel like you're in the centre of the car, and the centre of gravity just, it feels perfect. And obviously I'm sitting really low versus my M2 where I feel like I'm sitting really high. I'm really impressed with the Supra. I'm just blown away. Let's get the money stuff out of the way as well. Continue. So what about insurance?
So I've actually got a good insight on this, because I did initially have it insured under my own as my own policy. I've now got a house with my partner, so we thought it makes more financial sense to put both the cars, consolidate them onto one policy. So initially just myself, so I'm 25 years old, if that helps to kind of gauge it. Had my license 2 years, and insurance for just me on the car was just over £1,000. It was like 1.2, 1.3 I think from memory.
Oh, right.
However, now consolidating the two cars together, this is less than £600.
Really good.
So that's also, I suppose, a plug to multi-car insurance somewhat, that if you do live with someone else and you have more than one car on the driveway, it makes the ownership of something like this even more inviting, because you know the insurance costs.
So £600 per year, pretty impressive. Alright, so have you had a service yet?
No service yet. Services are very cheap on this. Up until about, I think it's 40,000 miles is when you need to start doing things like cylinder clearances, and that's when it's kind of a major service. But up until then it's just oil changes. Now, I'm guessing you get this with your M2. BMW recommends 20,000 miles per oil change. I am not happy with that. I'm going to aim for around 10,000 mile oil change, probably even less. And actually, with this B58, I've gone through a litre or a few litres of oil actually since July. So it definitely likes to drink, and for that reason, I would personally like to increase the service intervals. From what I've heard, services are a couple £100, nothing too major.
Yeah, if I just go off my M2 and off memory, I think my first mini little service was just, again, oil change. It was around about 170 quid, up to 200, something like that. So, you know, B58 Supra is a BMW Z4 underneath, etc. So I imagine the servicing cost is going to be about the same.
Yeah.
And there are, like you said, there are a lot of people who want to look after their car a lot better than what the manufacturer recommends. And I do know people who change their oil every 5,000 to 10,000 miles, even though the manufacturer recommends 20,000. So, I mean, how much does it cost? It's about 150 quid.
Yeah, exactly.
To look after the engine properly, it makes sense.
And for me, because I am probably going to keep this long term, I'd rather know that the car's had regular service intervals, just to help expand the life of this car. Because I'm probably going to hold on to this for quite a while.
Yeah, it makes sense. All right. Well, what about living with it?
So I'm quite lucky in the sense that I work from home, so I haven't really got to do too much with this car during a week. However, that being said, I do need to do chores in it at the weekends. I do need to go and kind of pick up things, deliver things. From a practicality standpoint, the boot is actually very, very big. So it's only a two-seater, as you can see. And what that means is the car's quite long. Like Will said, we're kind of sat on the rear wheels, but behind us is a huge boot. To kind of put it in some context for people watching this, you can fit two of my rear tyres, which are 275s, so they're really wide, 19 inches in the rear boot, and still get the lids closed.
That's really impressive.
So it's a very, very large boot. So you can't really fit too much in terms of length, but you can actually fit quite large boxes, like large items in it, very easily.
Yeah, because I'm always looking. I've got the itch. I'm always looking to see what to replace the M2 with, and the Amira has been one of the popular contestants. But my single problem with that is that it doesn't have a frunk, and the rear boot is far too small, and me being, it will be my daily, my only car, that's going to have a massive problem. But the Supra boot is absolutely massive. It's kind of like the Cayman boot in some senses. It's a bit deeper. Obviously you don't have a frunk, but again, very impressed. There's a Toyota Supra UK group.
There is.
Owners group. Is that on Facebook?
Yeah, so we're on Facebook. I think the Instagram account's set up now. It's kind of strange, and I think I spoke about it on the last video I did with you, but it's everyone in the last year or so has just suddenly started buying these again. I can't remember which dealer it was. I think it might have been Toyota Reading, because a good friend of mine's just bought a brand new Supra actually, and he's got to wait 5 months or so to collect it. But Toyota Reading was saying that weekend they'd maxed out their allocation slots out of nowhere, and this is on a car which has been released since 2019. So back onto the group. This group now has been created in the last kind of few months or so because there has been such a surge in Toyota owners, Supra owners. So we thought, well, why not get them all together? And we actually had our first ever owners meet weekend before last. We got 20 Mark V Supras together. It's
quite a lot.
Which was quite a sight. Yeah, it definitely turned some heads driving down the road.
I mean, if you look why I'm filming this video now, and why I didn't film a Supra video back in 2019, is because the upsurge of Supra popularity has suddenly come out of nowhere, and that's why the video we're watching is what you're watching right now. And obviously it gets a lot of attention, right?
Yeah, so that is definitely something to be aware of when you get the car. I did not expect, I mean, I knew it was cool looking, that's why I wanted it, because of the way it looks and the way it performs, but I didn't quite expect it to get as much attention as it does, because for non-car people, they see it as something exotic, something low to the ground, and to them it's almost like a supercar or something like that. But then to car people who are into the whole, like, you know, Supra thing, you get them kind of taking photos, waving, filming, because it's a Supra, and people like the Supra. I understand this isn't kind of everyone's cup of tea in terms of what a Supra is, but I will also say, in terms of people's reactions and the presence and stuff like that, I've not had a single person in public at all make any comments to me about BMWs or anything like that. It seems to be concentrated onto particular forums and the comment section on YouTube videos.
It's always positive as well. Like, I always, whenever I see a Supra on Instagram or on the web, it always looks really skinny, and the photo doesn't do it justice. But then when I see it in real life and I see Joe's car, it is really wide and it does look really good, and the hips on it look great. So it is, I'm a big fan is what I'm trying to say. And the B58, I had it in my M140, it's a fantastic engine, super reliable, sounds really good. In the back of my head on my S55 engine on my M2, I'm always conscious of that crank hub, and B58 doesn't really have that problem. Alright, the sun's basically gone. I'm going to leave the video here. Guys, if you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, the usual. If you want to see more content with Joe, comment down below please and let me know, and I'll try and find a day where we've got a lot more sunlight and we can film. So hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you later in the next one.